Right guys, Jack here, JBF Music and Guitar Lessons. What I've got for you today is a reaction / analysis to The Day the World Breaks Down by AYREON. This has been suggested to me a lot, so huge thanks to everyone that's put it forward to me. If you yourself have something you think that in particular I should check out, or you just want to support the channel and allow me to keep doing this, make sure to help patreon.com/JBF Music. And on that note, a massive thank you and a huge shout out to Rabbi Rabs, Matt Hortzman, Glenn Kelly, Stephen Williams and Rebecca Hay for their continued support on Patreon. Thanks guys. So I've got my guitar in hand, and the way I normally do these videos is I kind of watch through them and pause as I go, or sometimes I just kind of comment on stuff and then do a separate analysis video. This one is clocking in at 12 minutes 30, so I'm really not too sure if I want to brave doing like an hour-long breakdown. So this is probably going to be kind of commentary, reaction, and we'll just go from there. So the thought of having to edit hours and hours of me yammering on down to something that's somewhat consumable is just terrifying. I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. Specifically here I've got the source, it says in brackets 2017. I have seen from the description that there's 11 guest singers, so I'm pretty excited to see who they've got on and what different kind of tones that the colour palettes add to it. But far too much from me, let's just hop into this one. I'm assuming it's going to be prog metal from the name and the length of the song, but could be mistaken. Spooky winds for cold atmosphere. Very cinematic so far with the swooping shots. Eleven main singers. Oh, so right. Guy from Dream Theater, James LeBrie, yeah. That's the historian, okay. So they've got different characters, is it proper concept stuff? Spicy chords. I like that there's text explaining stuff. Little behind the scenes thing I mentioned. Cool. Kind of organ synth. Oscillating quite quickly. Might be a phaser on top of it. Very Opeth, kind of no choice there with chords. Yeah, organ. Is this just going to be like every instrument under the sun? So is AYREON a real band, or is this like a more like a collaboration thing? Like an internet band rather than a touring band, I should have said. I like how they're explaining why they used, I'm gonna pause for oh that's cool, I'm gonna pause for 1 second here. I like that they're explaining why they use certain instruments. It's really cool to get these insights, because there is definite uses and different timbres you get from different instruments. Frank Zappa is fantastic at combining them for really interesting combinations. But yeah, I'll pop this back and let's hear this. This sounded like a really cool kind of big epic riff. Doubled by the guitar as well. Ooh, a lot of crunch. Really tight drums, kind of compress the sustain out of them. Drums really following the melody, which is interesting. The fills were doubling it up. Very 80s, very Stranger Things. That was cool. Well in. Sounds heavier than drop D. I would have thought it was C or something. Very Dream Theater-y. Interesting that he used the Marshall amp for that tone. Oh, cool. John Lord used to do that. He'd put his organ through a Marshall in Deep Purple. The opposition leader, okay. They have characters. Nice, really chunky riffs. Huge. Interesting with the tonal shift in the guitars and the vocals, where those were kind of softer singers compared to the previous ones. Really interesting concept. Back to that kind of theme, that kind of heavier theme they'd introduced. Fantastic singers so far, all of them. I kind of want to hear all the singers together to hear that kind of cacophony. Our harmonies are ridiculously tight as well, very good. Make a really cool like animated short film. All the prog. Like Maiden meets Dream Theater, that line. Loads of kind of chunky riffs. Oh cool, Leslie, right. What that spinning thing was, I think it was probably a Leslie. Gives you like a natural chorus sound. Yeah. I will pause that for a second. So the Leslie speaker, as I understand it, I could be mistaken here, basically the sound comes out of it, but where the sound's coming from rotates, so it's instead of just getting, what's the way to describe it? Instead of just getting one static sound, it kind of changes it and oscillates it a bit. So you get this almost, there's an effect that we can put on things called chorus, where it almost seems like things are being kind of doubled, and it kind of has that effect on it without having to do it digitally. There's something very pleasing about a Leslie cabinet. A bit like if you listen to like an LP, like a record, because of the way they're made, they just sound a bit warmer, and most people think nicer. The Leslie speaker is kind of like the LP of chorus pedals. Expensive and big and difficult to move, but sounds better. It's like comparing a record to a CD, really, isn't it? I think you can adjust the speed as well for kind of how fast the kind of warble, for lack of a better word, effect occurs.
I always knew this would happen. Not many believed in my cause.
The Iron Maiden reference, as he said. Big Iron Maiden fan, so that's good with me. At some point, I feel like a Queen reference. It's almost stopped becoming a song and become more like a, I don't want to say performance art, but art rather than just music. Just because there's so many twists and turns. Like if you're listening to a score for a film. Yeah, I mean, if you're getting a drummer like that, you want it to be real drums, you don't want it to be samples, do you? A lot of power in the top range there as well. I like how some people have clearly come to the studio and some folk have just done it in their home studios. I think that's really cool. It takes so long to learn this kind of stuff as well. Like if you're doing it in one take, like I'm assuming the drumming more or less is. the risk of the digital audio workstation is you can just endlessly compose without having to worry about creating it. Oh, really cool layering. That was really nice, cool. Creating the kind of chord with the harmonies, so many of them. Oh right, cool, so he's giving people quite a lot of freedom as well. I don't know if that's a binary joke or a gent joke or both. Simple unison thing, it feels like it's gonna have to... Ooh, that's a stanky bass tone. It's almost like, you know, in a video game soundtrack, or like a selection menu where it's got like a kind of slightly more chilled out song. That kind of vibe from it. Oh, he's got some rasp. How do you even go about deciding which singers to use for which section as well? Madness. The amount of effort that's gone into this is insane. Oh, I mean, this is just spectacular musicianship, really, isn't it? Like the proggiest prog thing I've listened to in quite some time. A clean solo, right, interesting. Beautiful tone he's got. Simple, tasty lines, he's right. Sometimes that's what you need. I've missed a lot of the story because I tend to listen to music and not lyrics so much, if I'm being perfectly honest. So I'm guessing, I just read the text there, that the 1-0 thing was to do with binary, but it might have also been a gent joke or a metal joke. Who knows? You guys probably do. Let me know. So I should really try and pay more attention to the lyrics, but it's not what I do when I first listen, I'm afraid. But his voice does work with the... See, I wouldn't have thought of this as a bluesy section, but the rasp he's got really works. Yeah, it's really interesting. Like the subtle changes with the how people deliver their vocals works so well with the changes in instrumentation. Like a Jason Becker style solo almost. Very nice. I'd agree, I think that's a really cool solo. That would be very difficult to play. Arpeggios with whammy bar dips. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't heard a solo like that in quite some time. Back to the 80s synths. Like Devin Townsend punching you in the face from out of nowhere. Alright, cool. Very powerful voice, yeah. And the high notes as well. That's the thing. Yeah. There's so much effort into this. It'd be a shame if people weren't watching it and listening to the end. So that was really cool, and something I'd never make myself or even think of doing with kind of different singers. There's far too much there for me to pick anything to break down. My brain's completely schmelted at this point. So I'm just going to give you a complete cop-out, which is if you want instant prog, take a minor chord, just move it down a semitone, right? Do it in 6/8. Let's move gently. So if you want to hear prog in a nutshell progression, this is like I've taken what he's done, which is this really complex, beautifully intertwined piece of music, and I've gone, what's the easiest prog thing I can do without melting my head? Prog in a nutshell. You take a D minor to a D flat minor. I think I then did an A major to an A flat major. I've covered this in much more detail, which you can get with the eye up there. It was like a quick 5-minute lesson anyway, but basically pick a scale that accompanies each chord. So say a D minor, we could use Aeolian. For the next one, which is a minor, we could use Phrygian. Then we had A, so let's use the dominant, let's use Mixolydian. And then for this one, let's use a Lydian sound on the G flat or the A flat. So you can pick any mode. For reference, I'll try and string that together. Change chord. And again. Final time. A little sloppy chromatic right at the end as well there. If you'd like a more thorough breakdown of the song, then do let me know in the comments. You can hit up Patreon if you've got a specific suggestion. Check out these videos, hit subscribe to keep up to date with the channel. Leave a like and a comment as well, it's fantastic. But cheers guys, and I hope you're having a good one.